in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Newsgaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today our topic is COVID returns, impact on employability. Employability is the ability to enthrall employers with undisputable capabilities to optimize personal development and job growth. With the changing economy, no one has lifetime employment, but community colleges provide lifetime employability, said Barack Obama. Employability is the quality of being suitable for paid work. Employability is related to work and the ability to be employed, such as the ability to gain initial employment, hence the interest in ensuring that key competencies career advices on understanding about the world of work are embedded in the education system. The ability to maintain employment and make transitions between jobs and roles between the same organization to meet new job requirements. The ability to obtain new employment if required, that is to be independent in the labor market by being willing and able to manage their own employment transitions between and within organizations. The continuously fulfilling, acquiring or creating of work through the optimal use of efforts. Lee Harvey defines employability as the ability of a graduate to get a satisfying job, stating that job acquisition should not be prioritized over preparedness for employment to avoid pseudo measure of individual employability. Lee argues that employability is not a set of skills, but a range of experience and attributes developed through higher level learnings. Thus, employability is not a product, but a process of learning. Employability continues to develop because the graduate, once employed, does not stop learning, that is continuous learning. Thus, employability by this definition is about learning, not least learning, how to learn, and it is about empowering learning as critical reflective citizens. Harvey's definition is important for it emphasizes the employability of graduates, hence able to provide insight about how to measure graduates' employability and what are the differences between graduates and experienced individuals in the labor market. There are numerous terms for employability skills. They are often used interchangeable with terms such as soft skills, generic skills, 21st century skills, generic attributes, transferable skills, generic competencies, and holistic competencies. Chan at the University of Hong Kong uses holistic competencies as an umbrella term inclusive of different types of generic skills. For example, critical thinking, problem solving skills, positive values, attitudes, resilience, appreciation for others, which are essential for students' lifelong learning and whole person development. In order to understand how holistic competencies should be developed based on student perception, the Holistic Competency Development Framework, HCDF, was developed. The HCDF consists of 5 key components that are fundamental to holistic competency development: student characteristics, rationale for learning, students' actual learning experience and participations and interpretations based on that experience, students' approaches to developing holistic competency, and students' development of holistic competency as outcomes. The HCDF is an adaptation of BIG's 3P: purpose, process, and performance. Student approach to learn model. Chen realized that traditional learning process such as the 3P model do not apply to soft skills development because students who are deep learners in the academic context do not necessarily become deep learners in soft skills education. Thus, the word deep and surface with respect to academic knowledge are unsuitable in the soft skills context. Accordingly, a new term was coined, approach to develop for conceptualizing student engagement in experiential learning, leading to the development of holistic competencies. Unlike academic knowledge, holistic competencies must be developed by experience. Leadership skills cannot be learned by reading a book. The learner must have opportunities to observe and experience what leadership is. Hence, the word learn can be used to describe academic knowledge acquisition, while develop is preferably for describing holistic competency education. Validated instruments for assessing students' holistic competencies awareness have been developed. Although the assessment literacy of competency for both teachers and students remains challenging. Branston argues that employability refers to an individual's perception of his or her possibilities of getting new, equal, or better employment. Branston's study differentiates employability into two main categories: actual employability, that is objective employability, and perceived employability, that is subjective employability. Research into employability is not a single cohesive body work. Employability is investigated in the fields of industrial and organizational psychology, career development, industrial sociology, and the sociology of education, among others. Several employability definitions have been developed based on or including input from business and industry. In the United States, an employability skills framework was developed through a collaboration of employers, educators, human resources associations, and labor market associations. This framework states employability skills are general skills that are necessary for success in the labor market at all employment levels and in all sectors. After conducting research with employers across Canada, the Conference Board of Canada released Employability Skills 2000 plus, which defines employability as the skills you need to enter, stay in, and progress in the world of work. Saunders and Goel found that employers valued personal qualities such as dependability and enthusiasm over subject knowledge and ability to negotiate. Less than half of the Indian graduates are employable, reveals the 8th edition of the Indian Skill Report ISR released recently. In 2021, as many as 45.9% of graduates are employable. It declined from 46.21% in 2020 and 47.38% in 2019, reveals the report. MCA graduates are the least in terms of employability, as only 22.42% of them are employable, followed by Polytechnic at 25.02%. In contrast to the common belief, it is the BTech graduates who are most employable with 46.82%, followed closely by MBAs at 46.59%, states the report. The report shows that women are more employable than men. However, despite women being more hireable, it is the men who secure most jobs. On average, 64% of all professionals are men, while only 36% of workforce are women in India, as per the report. The intent was at 15% in 2019, down to 10% in 2020, and currently stand at 19% in 2021, as per the report. This year, the hiring is expected to be most in the BFSI, software, hardware, and IT and internet businesses. The report pointed out that the most employable candidates as per the courses were MBA students at 54% as against 40% in the last 2 years. B.Pharm, Polytechnic, B.Com, and BA courses, on the other hand, saw an improvement in employability, which is increased by more than 15%. However, a decline in employability was seen in BTech engineering. Now, this is a separate report which was made in the with AICT, etc. So this report is in contrary to the earlier report. Now, this report says there is a decline in employability in BTech engineering. MCA graduates, technical and computer-related courses. Among the states, Maharashtra, followed by Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh, were ranked among the top 3 terms of employability, while Mumbai, followed by Hyderabad, were ranked the top 2 employable cities. Bengaluru, New Delhi, Pune, Lucknow, and Chennai have maintained their presence in the top 10 over the last 6 years. States that registered a dip in ranking were West Bengal and Haryana, which could not make it to the top 10 list, the report added. Prime Minister, Honorable Mr. Narendra Modi's vision of India's becoming a $5 trillion economy requires increasing the per capita income of Indians, which can happen only when people get employment, which consequently demands the skills and useful talent. To achieve that, along with the universities and colleges in India, various emerging startups are already using innovative technologies to facilitate skill-up graduation, job creation, internships, and workforce management on their platform. Now, these reports are before the COVID returns. These reports pre-COVID, then COVID-19, that is 2020, but pre-COVID returns, which has started in last 1 or 2 months. Now, COVID returns, why we are emphasizing on COVID returns? Because as of yesterday, that is on 9th May 2021, India registered 366,499 new cases of coronavirus, which has taken the country's cumulative tally past 2,26,62,000 cases. Although yesterday was a Sunday, so always on Monday there is a dip, because Sunday many centers are not doing proper testing, or they are not doing the testing at all. Yesterday, 3,748 people lost their life. Thus, total death due to corona raised to 2,46,146. According to health officials, India has administered 16 crores 94 lakhs 39,663 vaccines doses across the country as of yesterday, 9th May 2021. Although this much is hardly 2.3% total vaccination. Total vaccination means who has already received first and second dose. And if we will see that total vaccines administered, it's about 11.5 or approximately 12% of the population, while the medical expert says that at least 70% of the population, which stands for 140 crores, should be vaccinated. So it means we require the vaccination to reach up to 100 crores, but to achieve and the 100 crores the second dose. So it means we require 200 crores doses, out of which till now approximately 17 crores vaccines have been given. So that is a matter of concern. But today our topic is COVID returns, impact on employability. And to discuss and give their views, we have a very, very expert, we have a very, you can say, authority in their field panelist with us. I would like to invite my first panelist, and she is Professor Dr. Vinita Rai. Professor Dr. Vinita Rai, welcome to our show. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will just welcome and introduce Professor Dr. Vinita Rai. Professor Dr. Vinita Rai is Registrar of the School of Social Work, Roshni Nyalaya at Mangalore. Professor Dr. Rai is a national karate champion. She has put lots of efforts in popularizing waste management and creation of plastic-free surroundings, for which she got Republic Day Award for the leadership in anti-plastic Andolan. Professor Dr. Vinita Rai is a grassroots level worker for upliftment of women and children. Professor Dr. Vinita Rai had done a commendable job as NSS coordinator and youth Red Cross nodal officer of Mangalore University for 5 years. She was declared best NSS program officer of Karnataka. Her passion is to prepare youth for leadership. Welcome, Professor Dr. Vinita Rai on our show. Professor Dr. Vinita Rai, as you know today, the conditions that already the employability in India, especially in the youth, those who taking the graduation in any of the fields, were not that high. So much unemployment was there, plus the employability was not there. And although the report says up to 46%, but it also says somewhere 22%. So it shows that only 22% or if we take the average, about say 30% youth are employable. So the condition is not good. And now, because last year has also gone because of the COVID-19. And this year, again, when the COVID has come back with bang, with so much mortality, with so many cases, and now almost practically the entire country is under lockdown, practically. Now, when this is the situation, the educators like you all are having a fear whether this education session will be there or not, although online education is on. And as you all know, the online education, the quality of online education cannot be at par with the offline education. And that's why the skills, or you can say the education quality is taking a dip. The quality is going down. Now, when these you students will come out, what will be their future, the employability? So we would like to know your views now. The COVID returns impact on employability. Professor Dr. Vinita Rai, please.
Good morning. Good morning to our host, Mr. Lal Goel ji, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, and Dr. C.K. Manjunath. And all the viewers, I wish all of you very good morning. We need to admit the fact that COVID-19 has taken away job opportunities and vast population remains unemployed due to shutdown and economic crisis. Nobody knows what lies ahead, but with all our sincerity, we are all making our sincere attempt for livelihood generation. Livelihood generation demands a solution with strategic planning, with futuristic vision. We need to bridge the skill gap as well as unification of job with job seekers. We need to understand money is moving from hardware to software system. And youngsters need to take a journey of exploration, experiment, and see the possibilities. And I think youngsters are good at it. They are much better than we, the older generation. Employability means the quality of being suitable for a paid work. What does it mean? As Mr. Goel already said, it includes the motivation that has to come from within, the innovation, the leadership, the reliability and patience, and the ability to communicate well, and adaptability and problem solving skills, and ability to work as well under any kind of pressure. I think as teachers, we are trying our level best with all this pandemic situation to provide the best. To quote our own example, where I work, it's Autonomous College, School of Social Work, Roshnilaya, as you already mentioned. Since we don't have to depend so much for everything to conduct our examination, we have the freedom to conduct our examinations and things like that. So this time, with this pandemic situation, we were able to give that quality education in between with the practical sessions, with a lot of safe distance in the college. By the time we completed our practicals and the fieldwork sessions for the 6th semester, 4th and the 2nd semester, the lockdown started. So now we are ahead with online teaching. So that way we tried our best to give the practical exposure to our students wherever in between it was possible. That much at least satisfaction we have, where we could give them the skills, where they could come to the college and learn something, and also by exposing them to the field exposure. When future is uncertain, it is wise to pursue a diverse portfolio of options instead of one or two. Youngsters need to learn about a wide range of possible opportunities with a journey of exploration. As I already said, many times our youngsters, when we discuss with them, they are doing that. They are very smart. They are trying to do that. It is very comforting to see that new job roles are on the rise thanks to digitalization. Companies now prefer candidates with the digital literacy, soft skills, and agility to adapt to evolving work environment. Work from home, remote work is the trend now. Shift in consumer behavior rely on e-economic platforms, e-commerce platforms. Digital marketing has become lifeline for companies where trend is to follow customers online. Even online teaching, though we were not used to that, now we got used to this online teaching. And students are also getting adjusted to that and showing interest, though few students we have problem in getting their attention and even to get their attendance. But still, freelancing options opens the door to several opportunities like content writing, translation, public relations, photography, marketing. All these need skills, but it is not hard to develop. If our youngsters make up their mind, they can do it. Infrastructure development. According to Niti Aayog, India would need rupees 350 lakh crores up to 2030 to finance all infrastructure needs. So that means more job opportunities are there. Agriculture. Rural economy may make a robust contribution to overall growth. Government is also encouraging private participation, and agriculture is another area we need to look into. And in our education system, we are adding elective courses. That is, universities are emphasizing on courses of interdisciplinary nature, which provides an extended scope or enables an exposure to some other discipline which nurtures the students' proficiency skills. At the same time, the skill development courses, vocational courses are also coming up with this new education policy. The purpose is to provide students life skills in hands-on mode so as to increase their employability or self-employment, we can say. So we have in the undergraduate program scope for in the new education policy, we have scope for certificate courses, diploma courses, basic bachelor degree courses, and bachelor degree honors course, where a student in between his studies can take a break, go to work, and then he wants to come back, he could come back and study. This kind of option also is available with this new education policy. With these small little facts, I would like to say that all that what is needed is the determination. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. In the middle of difficulties, in the middle of this pandemic lies the opportunities. We need to understand, we need to explore the opportunities. I think we, the older generation, we the teachers are there with our youngsters to support them in all the ways possible. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Vinita Rai, for giving your views. And what Professor Dr. Vinita Rai mentioned is that although the crisis is there, the lockdowns have been imposed, but in her college, they have tried to finish all the examinations in time before the lockdown. So she says that we have tried to give the whatsoever the knowledge is required for the particular classes in this year. But it is only here, but because 2 days back when the Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University was on my show, I asked him and he says, no, there are exams are still pending and so many things are being stopped. But she says if the determination is there, because there are lots of opportunities has been developed, has come up because of this pandemic, and the online businesses, digital marketing, etc. So she says that if the educators will try to give the proper direction to the youngsters, the students, then they can have many more areas where they can develop their skills, and then the employability will be there. But it all depends. And she has given the figures of how the government is planning to spend the money in the industries and the agriculture. But right now, because of the COVID returns, all that money has been cannot be spent, because right now the government and everyone main emphasis is to save the human lives, and for that the money is required for purchasing the vaccines and the oxygen and those things. But still, Professor Dr. Vinita Rai is very hopeful that this will pass off and we will come as a winner and we will not have any problems, because now more and more opportunities have come according to her. So there are more and more job opportunities are going to be available for the students, so they will not have any problem as far as the employability is concerned. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Vinita Rai, for giving your views. Now I would like to go to my next panelist, and she is Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan is the director of ITM Business School, Navi Mumbai. She is a professional with more than 2 decades in teaching, training, and heading institutions, coupled with half a decade of corporate exposure in companies like LB and DHM. She headed the ITM Chennai campus for 3 years and was associated with Times and ICFAI in the capacity of campus head. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan is a doctorate in management, postgraduate in education management and human resource management, and master's in English literature. She is core committee member of Higher Education Forum and member of CII Education Committee. She has been invited as speakers at various forums and has a penchant for writing articles on leadership and management areas. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan is an external member on the board of Ultratech Cement Limited, Aditya Birla Group for POSH. Dr. Mohan is a recipient of the APJ Karamveer Chakra in 2014 for inspiring youth to contribute towards society. She was an awardee for Women Achiever from NSA and Higher Education Forum, bestowed on her the Best Emerging Director Award in 2015. In 2017, Fine Arts Society bestowed FAS Sri Ratna Award, which was presented by Dr. Rajshri Birla to Dr. Lakshmi Mohan in recognition of her illustrious contribution and achievement in the field of education. National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, NFED, conferred the Outstanding Women Professional Award to Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. In 2020, Dorai Foundation bestowed the Exemplar Award, and Vidyavya Sarvadharnama bestowed Best Teacher Award on occasion of National Teachers Day to Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. In 2021, Heartfulness Education Trust bestowed Heartful Professor Award to Dr. Lakshmi Mohan for initiating moral development of students. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan believes that progress is possible with change and growth mindset. Welcome, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, on our show. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, you have heard what Professor Dr. Vinita Rai has mentioned. And Professor Dr. Vinita Rai is very, very clear that in spite of the COVID mayhem, we are going to come out as a winner. And definitely, because of the new opportunity, there will be no dearth of employment as well as employability, because now the new norms with the new education on policy, the National Education Policy 2020, the government is emphasizing on many things which will definitely give lots of opportunities to the students to become more employable. Now, we would like to know from you the COVID returns impact on employability. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goel, Madam Vinita, and Dr. Manjunath. Very good morning to all of you. Also, very good morning to all the viewers. For me, employability is adding value. And employability is not just about getting a job, but I think it is way beyond. It's a broader set of skills and attributes that enables success throughout your working life. And I would say, in fact, throughout your life. That's the importance of employability. I belong to a group called ITM, Group of Institutions, and we have institutions in the stream of hotel management, engineering. We have universities which are running various programs. And as being part of an educational institution, and as being part of a very innovative system, we have always looked at employability as a very, very crucial skill that we need to develop in our students. If I have to divide employability into 3 areas, it would be fundamental skills. Second would be personal management skills. And the third is teamwork skills. If I have to talk about fundamental skills, I think communication, as all of us know, is a fundamental skill. And it is very important because if you are not able to communicate, you're paralyzed. And especially in an organizational setup, it is so important to connect with every member of the organization with whom you're working closely. And that communication is essential. So we brought in something called managerial communication into our syllabus so that the students are able to understand what exactly is communication is in an organizational setup. Managing information. Information is life. This was a punchline of ITM, 30 years back when we started in the year 1991. So I think this has always been important for us. And today when we see the kind of data boom and, importance of understanding analytics across all sectors, I think preparing the students to analyze data and find out relevant information and make prudent decisions out of those information that is gathered has become very important. So this is something, again, that we added to our syllabus. What I mean to say is, it is important as educators to understand what is it that can align to the industry so that the students are employable. And if we fail to do our research as educators, I think we are going to, create unemployment and, employability skills will not be created by us. How about number crunching? Especially, in a business school where, which I am heading, it's so important for us to understand numbers because business is numbers, business is profits, and it is not restricted to only one department, that's finance department. It is across. A marketing department should know what numbers mean. An HR department needs to know what numbers mean. So imagine the importance of number knowledge for every student. These are all fundamental skills that I'm talking about. Thinking critically. And how do we bring that in our system, education system, thinking critically? Can we bring in, case studies where students have to analyze? They have to come out with what could be the right judgment or decision. Can we also ask the students to ask questions? Why is it that only we ask questions? Why not a student ask questions to us, which never happens in a classroom? In fact, I give marks for a student who asks questions. I say, let it be the simplest question. In continuous evaluation and participation, I say, okay, you ask a question and you get marks for it. How about making decisions? Why not give students the opportunity to head events and activities in the campus and take decisions? Empower them. And when you empower them, they take decisions, they make mistakes, they fail, but they learn from those failures. Give them that chance, which we don't. We always feel a student is, somebody who has to just listen to us, cannot take decisions on his own. But I think that myth has to go. Digital skills. I think it's so important today, especially, in the COVID times where everything is digital. Today, I'm not able to go to a shop to order groceries or buy groceries. I have to, get it online. Look at the way e-commerce has developed. Look at the way the digital era has set in for us. Isn't it important for every student to know what digital is? right? It is important for every student to at least understand what is AI, what is ML, what are futuristic technologies. And these can be done by institutions. And do not restrict it because the university does not have it as a part of the curriculum. I think it is every institution's responsibility to add value to what they are training or teaching the students. And this, if we are able to understand, I think we will bring in what is important for their employability. So these are basic fundamental skills that I wanted to touch upon. Let me go to the second aspect, and that is personal management. When it comes to personal management, I think it's very important that your attitude has to be positive. I think we all will agree, right, that attitude is what has helped us to reach the highest altitude in life and career. And this attitude development is something that the students have to take care of themselves. And if the institution can also instill through various moral development programs and, master classes, it'll be wonderful. So this is a basic, personal management skill that a student needs to develop. Positive attitude, also these 21st century skills, right? Which is important for me. I should know typing on my mobile. I should know WhatsApp. I should know how to get onto a social media to understand what's happening there. It can be toxic sometimes, but then there is also a lot of information there, right? So these are all basic 21st century skills that students have to upgrade themselves with. How about being responsible? How about being adaptable? Can we bring in all this in the curriculum subtly? Can we do it through dialogue processes? We have done that. We have brought in dialogues. We don't train them. We don't teach them. We say, come on, let's look at this passage or reading material and let's talk on this. And we have brought in broken silos. So it is not only a student who is part of this dialogue process. It would be a faculty who's part of the dialogue process. It would be industry who's part of the dialogue process. It would be student. We broke silos. We brought them all together. We said, let's dialogue and discuss what's best for us. So those deliberations can really work well. I think the importance is also, like Vinita ma'am said, why not develop new skills? Why not also look at, alternative ways of developing ourselves? Like you said, MCA is found least employable. So if you are least employable there, but you have the technology skills, why not get into digital technology, digital marketing? So let us look at a B plan. I think that's what will enable us to be employable. How about meditation, lifestyle management, which is so important for personal management? Let me tell you about my own case. There is not a single day I start my day without meditation. There's not a single day. I feel I need to talk to myself. I need to talk to the God within me. Can we do that for our students? Can we bring them to that path where they're able to do a meditation in the morning and in the evening they detox themselves? Because we collect so much of energy, negative energies throughout the day. Why not detox it in the evening, sit with ourselves and say, I don't want this with me. So this is a practice that we have brought in ITM. We have, we train the students on how they can meditate, how they can do yoga, and how this can actually, and pranayama as well, and how this can benefit their own personal development. Believe me, we have something like a 300 hours of corporate transition module that we created. No university stipulates this, but I think it's an onus that every educator has to take to bring in that employability skills in our students. Let me move to the last one, and that is the teamwork, or skills that are required as a part of an organization. How about speaking right, listening skills? Okay, most important when you're working in a team, it's important for you to be empathetic. It's important for you to listen. Can we develop these skills in our students by being more innovative, by bringing in those kind of sessions or programs which can develop these skills in students? especially in today's times where students are all looking at instant gratification. You know, they want everything like an instant noodle. So, and social media also has made them very restless, isn't it? So can we bring in that patience in them? Can we bring in that listening skills in them? And perseverance will also come out of the determination to do your best. So if we can develop, that skill in the students to be perseverant. Yes, I agree. When a student comes to us, he's around 24, 25. Okay, and he has over the years accumulated lot of values, lot of habits. To learn and to unlearn becomes a challenge at the age of 25, but it's not impossible. There's nothing that is impossible. I believe that skills is a continuous process. It is a lifelong process. It is not only when you are a student. I think it is also when you have got into a job. So for us, when we are placing our students in the organizations, we also look at, okay, what next? Will he be able to sustain there? And that sustenance is what you need to develop in our education. Can this new education policy bring in all these new things into education is a big question. So I must also, tell you a small anecdote, which I could just recollect now, where there were two guys working in a wood production industry. Okay. One was, say, A, the other one was B. B was working in that industry for almost 10 years, and A had just joined and worked for 2 years. But who got the promotion? It was A who got the promotion. B was very unhappy. He was very dissatisfied. He went to his boss. He asked him, what is it? Why did you not give me a promotion? I have been working with you for 10 years. And you gave a promotion to somebody who's junior, who's only had 2 years experience, who is younger than me. So what is it that made you give him a promotion and ignore me? You know what this boss told him? He said, they were in a wood production industry, obviously. Both of them were woodcutters. He said, it's all about sharpening your axe. The guy who got the promotion, who is new to the organization, always took a break to sharpen his axe. He did not do continuous cutting of the tree. It did not make sense to him because he felt he needed to sharpen the axe to improve his productivity. And that's also important when you're talking about employability. It is lifelong employability. Are you able to sustain? Are you able to go along even in your present employment long enough to be fruitful and successful in your job? So he said, if you're able to even give that time for yourself, and if you're able to realize that, yes, you need to upskill yourself, you need to upgrade yourself to be employable. Believe me, what I studied in college is no more applicable today. Did I have all these digital skills? Did I know how to operate a Zoom? Did I know how to take the students to a breakout room and do case discussions? No, these are skills that I had to develop over time because otherwise I would be redundant. I would be nowhere in this education scenario. I would not be in this industry. So employability is not brief. Employability is lifelong. And if we are able to sensitize this even with our students and tell them that this is for life and this is not just for this period, and this can keep changing. Your skills may need to change. Today's soft skills is beyond just communication. Soft skills is even in this meeting that we have, in this session that we have, right? How are we presenting ourselves? How are we grooming ourselves? Are we able to make that impact? All that matters. And if we are able to build all that in our students, I think it will be wonderful. I must also mention, when we were concerned about employability, we did a research with industry on what it is that we should do to make our students employable. As a B school, I'm talking. And our research was absolutely revealing. In the year 2012, we realized from interviewing more than 300 industries, we realized that we needed to give the students hands-on experience. We started experiential labs. So we have a retail lab. We have a financial markets lab. We have created a fintech lab. We are very soon going to start a business analytics lab. All this has to bring in that experiential learning. If you don't bring in experiential learning, student doesn't understand. Student will have to do it, fail at it, and then redo it correctly. So this is the experience we need to give to the students. So when we checked with industry, this is what we got to know. And we created a 5 months industry internship. Let me proudly say that we have close to 780 students every year whom we place for 5 months in internship. Of course, I have a very robust placement team that does this work. And all of us, even faculties, and also every faculty has to connect with industry. Only then you can create employability. You have to know what the industry wants, what are the skills that are needed for the industry, and align it to the learning of the student. So if we are able to match all this together, if we are able to bring all of it together, only then I think we will be successful as educators to actually add to the number of employable graduates, in our country, which is actually pathetic. We need to do that. We need to really double up our work and think sensibly as to what it is that we need to bring in those employability skills in our students.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, for giving a very descriptive your opening remarks about the employability. Now, what Dr. Lakshmi Mohan has mentioned, I would like to highlight 1 or 2 points. First point is that she says the employability means you have to add on the value addition of the person. And she says that education is not it's not a gateway for the employability. You have to add on the things which the industry requires, and the industry requirement changes very, very fast. And she says what she has learned long ago, and whenever she was educated, it is all redundant because now the times has changed. Everything is changing very fast, and to learn that, one has to do this learning. And according to her, for the employability, the skill learning is lifelong. It's not one day thing that you have become a skill. You know one skill, but you will be doing it and you will be employable for the lifelong. It's not possible. So according to her, one has to learn every day or every moment the new things, whatsoever the new things are coming, so that he or she will be employable for the employer. Because the employer also wants the worth of the money which he or is spending on the employee. And that's why, according to her, it's a lifelong process. One has to learn, and once they will be learning, and she has mentioned how their own institution are doing new innovations in the field of employability with the help of industries, and how they are giving the experiential learning at their own education institute, which is very much required. Because if the student goes as a raw to a industry, it's not easy for the student or for the employee to digest the new environment, because that's a very, very competitive market. And she said the condition is very pathetic unless we will not do it. And she also mentioned about the new education policy. She says whether it will work or not, it has to see. But today, like her education institution is doing, if the education institutions in other parts in India will also do the same thing, definitely the employability will not be a question, and every student will become employable. Thank you very much, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, for giving such a vivid, very good description. I'm sure all our viewers, and especially the students, and especially those who wants to change from one job to another job, will understand what are the skilled things, and you have to learn every day. And she rightly said, who are knowing about this Zoom meetings, etc. Although I'm sure that she might have handled the computer or laptop when she was getting their degrees, but at our time we have not seen. And to be very frank, last year on 22nd March 2020, when I started this media conference for the first time, I touched the laptop in my life. This is confession for the first time, and I have handled the laptop because I never required that thing. But you are right, everyone has to learn. So this is her views. I'm sure all our viewers are quite enlightened with her views. Thank you very much, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. Now I would like to move to my next panelist, and he is Dr. C.K. Manjunath. Dr. C.K. Manjunath is MS, MA, PhD. Dr. C.K. Manjunath is the Student Welfare Officer at Sri Madhva Vadiraj Institute of Technology and Management, Udupi. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. This one line sums up Dr. Manjunath's career of almost 2 decades. A PhD from MIT Boston, MS from Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, author of a maths book by Pearson Publications, an ardent researcher and academician par excellence. He has dedicated 19 years of his career to achieving academic excellence and establishing a firm foundation for better education. He has completed his graduation in Information Science and Life Sciences, Masters in English Literature, B.Ed, an online course in Documentation and Information Science, and a program on effective leadership in teaching, learning, and process training. Across his illustrious career, he has held academic and administrative positions in leading institutes, including Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, Sehadri College of Engineering and Management, Sadguru Public School, the Yenupaiya School and Yenupaiya PU College, Hanuman Group of Institutions, and Vidodaya Public School, successfully hosting a science conclave where Nobel laureates and internationally acclaimed scientists were invited, serving as a guest faculty to young minds and contributing to building the academic talent pool have been the hallmark of his career. Receiving various awards and accolades are a testament of his deep commitment to furthering research and delivering academic excellence. Notable among them are Young Scientist Award in 2003 and 2009 for outstanding work in IT relating to biomedicine, Best Teacher Award by Rotary and JC NGO while serving as founder principal of Vidodaya Public School. He served as national level paper setter for JEE and NEET, chief superintendent for 10th and 12th exams and entrance exams like JEE, AIPMT and CTET of CBSE board, observer for 10th and 12th exams for National Institute of Opening Schools, guest faculty, MBA program for Manipal Institute of Management, managed outreach programs, PGID programs, and literary wall club at Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management. An ardent researcher, he has authored and published articles and monthly periodicals, served as editor for Pearson's Publications, Universal Mathematics till grade 8, and Wiley Publication, Physics textbook on electrostatics and wave motion for grade 12. Welcome, Dr. C.K. Manjunath on our show. Dr. C.K. Manjunath, you have heard what Professor Dr. Vinita Rai as well as what Dr. Lakshmi Mohan has said. And both have mentioned very clearly that the skills are required to become employable. So the employability is directly, you can say it's linked with the skill training. And now what Professor Dr. Vinita Rai says that because of the new education policy and with the new schemes of the government of India, definitely, and with this pandemic, so many new opportunities have come. So the employability will not be a problem if proper training skills be given instills in the students so that they can take the so many opportunities has come. What Dr. Lakshmi Mohan has mentioned very clearly is that their institution is adding the value for the education, and she has given all the description which you have already heard. Now we would like to know from you the COVID returns impact on employability. Dr. C.K. Manjunath, please.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was a great hearing today. And I must thank you that you have made my day listening to two great panelists. In fact, you have made my job also easy because most of the description has been already done. And it is only for me to conclude. That's all. And I'm happy to meet Vinita ma'am after a long time. I had met her almost 12 years back when I was at Napoya School in PU College. We had done a program at their, with the help of their campus. And it was great hearing from Dr. Lakshmi ma'am. In fact, I can say it's an eye opener even to me. There are 3 points which I would like to say that one is employability will never be a problem at any juncture, because we have always set the educational standards so high, especially in India, that we were ready for tomorrow's challenges. This pandemic is just a temporary problem. It will not stay for a long time, because this has come like a cross check for us. We were running on a bullet train speed and different angles, and we had forgotten ourselves that we are all human beings. Now, this has taught us that we need to look back and understand our abilities. That's it. As both the panelists said, I do agree with them that the value creation is one thing that will definitely fetch the employability skills. I always speak about 4 terms. One is creativity, number 2, imagination, number 3, innovation, and number 4, empathy. If these 4 words exist in our educational principles, definitely a huge value is set in the student or anybody, and he is ready for the employment. If these 4, any one of the 4 is missing, definitely the student is incomplete. This is what is my argument. Unfortunate in today's educational policy, we have done everything and we don't work properly on empathy skills. But as both the panelists said, today, most of the planning is done towards this particular aspect. Because if your personality is not set, if you are not properly structured, though you may have hundreds of degrees, but you will not be a proper individual. I have many examples like that. Many of my students were placed in best of best MNCs. They could able to reach even the best goals, probably they could reach their dreams very early, but they were not there for a longer period. I know one student by name Dr. Nandan got his degrees. He was working for an Apple. He got many promotions, but the only problem that he had in him was he had never understood himself, and he had never believed that human being and human qualities are the greatest strength compared to any other machine language qualities. He was always a businessman. Anything, even he actually planned his marriage also by taking a business proposal as the major lead. And in fact, all this today led him to a tragedy, like after 12 years of successful journey, he committed suicide. This is only for the reason, see, as Lakshmi ma'am very clearly said, that human values, if it is not integrated properly in our educational structure, we get lost. And in fact, we are all working towards this. I know Vinita ma'am has put in enough efforts in his journey in structuring students. But somewhere, this integration to make them mind and their physical strengths strong enough to face tomorrow's challenges, if this is taken care in our educational structure, the competencies can be met. And one more point, what as the panelists said, see, the gap between our educational standards or the academic standards and the industrial requirements need to be met. And many of the institutes, we don't take this as the linking bridge. As Dr. Lakshmi stated very well, we don't connect ourselves to the industry's requirement. I know very well when campuses visit us and they give their final remarks to us, I always see 3 major gaps. One is about the incubation work that we do in the campuses. Number 2, about the innovation hubs that we set in the campuses. Number 3, about imaginary skills or the creative skills that we added into their education. Most of our education is bound towards the curriculums, especially the institutes where I have worked. I did not get an opportunity to work like in autonomous institutes and all. See, all our syllabus is set by the university. We need to go by their rules, regulations. And most of the time, I've seen majority of my faculty, their life is spent in documentation. Now, they don't get time to go to the students and talk to them. This is where actually my role comes into the campus. I get, why I have kept myself busy is always because I don't go into these documentation, number one. Number two, I don't believe in it. The real document is the student who goes out of our campus. He's the appropriate document. He is, I can say, a permanent document. If he or she is structured well, if their demands are met, if their imaginations are listened to it, and we incubate it properly, and we innovate it properly, we add a lot of interns to their mind and structure them, I will tell you, they would be ready for any jobs. One simple example I would like to quote. 3 years back, I was working on a student called Santosh. When he joined our campus for MBA program, he was from a rural background. He had a lot of difficulty in the language. As ma'am rightly said, if attitude, aptitude are not taken care along with the language skills, see, they don't get employed. Now, this was the area which I had seen in him, which was missing. I started working on it. 2 years of MBA program went about. But at the end of the second year, when he was placed into a company in Bahrain, it was an academic institute where he got appointed as an assistant registrar. And I was sitting next to him in that video conference discussion, and he was answering to the question raised by the interview panel. I was shocked to hear that boy presenting so well. I do remember when he joined our campus, he was struggling enough to even present himself. He was not able to even communicate a single sentence in English properly. And within 2 years of his life journey, he was a different guy. And his package was 13.6 in that particular. So this actually has reflected onto my mind, saying like, see, if we are working on the students, we need to work for their real employment skills. It is not just like we prepare them based on their academic standards. We prepare them based on the syllabus that has been kept and all that. We have to prepare them for tomorrow's challenges. Number two, so there are a lot of issues that need to be taken up in COVID situation about employability. See, I got a chance in the last year when I was very free during lockdown period. I could work on the statistics like how many laborers lost their job, how many teachers from the private institution lost their job. See, I was just collecting all this data, and it was so shocking to see that more than 35 to 40% of every organization was willing to withdraw the people, or they were planning to send them out. And a lot of issues were there connected to that. Whenever I was getting a chance to meet any such group of people, everybody has an issue like, sir, nobody is willing to listen to us. See, we have enough problems, but that is not heard. So this year in my curriculum, I had actually added a syllabus called Can We Understand? It is something like look back and can we work towards it? So this is a kind of aspect that I have introduced into my value added course in the campus. Now, wherein I'm asking students to get prepared, helping the people who really have troubles. There are many of my students during this COVID season, they are working on platforms like making the people stay at home comfortably and work as a delivery boys. Teleworking, a lot of people are helping on the teleworking system. There is a lot of customer care related aspects that has been taken. Now, these are all the works on which the students have been put onto it. Now, why this is done is, one, they have to be exposed to the kind of issues that are happening across the cities or across the society. Number two, they need to prepare themselves to take up their challenges too. Because as both of them said, though we are going to have the very best time coming up in the next years, but the challenge is this 1.5 years of COVID issue will definitely bring back our economic values quite down. They will not be having such lucrative jobs. They will not be having such high paid salary in the next 2-3 years coming up. Now, if our students know these real problems very well, and if they can set their minds to take up the challenges one side, on the other side, be prepared to face the industry, probably that things would be set. So I would like to conclude saying 3 major aspects. Now, as Madam said, Lakshmi ma'am and even Vinita ma'am, see, critical thinking and problem solving. These are the one major part of their learning that need to be taken care. Number 2, it's a continuous evaluation of what I have learned. That need to be checked onto them. Third is about hands-on experience. See, they need to experience the learning that is being given to them, connecting to the societal problems. If these 3 paradigms are met properly, I will tell you, they will be fit enough to take up the employment. And lastly, I would like to thank Lakshmi ma'am. One major area that she really touched is about our physical and mental fitness. I know Vinita ma'am takes up a lot of such activities in the campus during her NSS program on these areas. See, making your student to fit enough to take up the challenges, because most of our students today, they lack that physical fitness. They are all the, I can tell you 24/7, they are busy with respect to the mobiles that are there with them and the social media. So if we bring them out of this and put them onto the physical fitness, I will definitely tell these things can be done very well. One last point to add up here is, all of us, what we need to do here is, one unlearning we need to do in the young minds. One unlearning is, see, I don't say it is a wrong thing. They have slightly an ego content in them quite at a high level. They believe that they are very smart, they know everything. See, this is one of the dangerous things that they all possess. This unlearning must happen in learning. What should happen is the realistic situation that exists. See, they cannot be sent to the ivory towers from our campus. They have to go into that realistic society where a lot of problems and issues exist, and they should get equipped to face all that. Number 3, relearning of all those values, human values, what is essential. If this can be done in them with respect, connecting with respect to the language skills like LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, writing, if this is added into them, I'd say they will all become. So I would like to thank all for giving me an opportunity, and it was really a great day for me hearing those 2 great panelists speaking in this media conference. Thank you, Mr. Goel, for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. C.K. Manjunath, for giving your views. And Dr. Manjunath is very positive. He says there is no problem as far as employability is concerned in India, because the way it is going on, the way the educators are teaching, they can change the shape, and the student or the can go and be employable. And he is giving the example of one student where he says that that student, when he joined their institute, it was only he was not even able to utter a single sentence, and now he got the job. But one very important point which he has mentioned is that generally in the Indian universities, the paperwork is too much, and all the professors and the teachers, the educators are busy in documentation. And according to Dr. C.K. Manjunath, the documentation is the student who is passing out from the institute. That is our document according to him. He says we should get rid of that. we should try to emphasize more on the student. And that is a very, very important point, because although I have seen abroad also, the documentations are there, but the documentation is very, very simple there, not like in India. And that's why the educator is busy in doing all such types of works, and the main emphasis for giving the real values which are required apart from the education is lacking. And he has also mentioned what Dr. Lakshmi Mohan has mentioned about the mental and physical setup, or giving the training to them, making them strong. Although I know there is a WhatsApp joke when the earlier time, the mother used to bring the child from the field and say, come inside and read. And now the time has changed. The mother taking the child from the home inside and going, pulling and saying that go to the field and play. Now, this is a time change, which all of them have said that one has to change as per the time, one has to adapt. Then only you will be employable, or the employability will increase. Thank you very much, Dr. C.K. Manjunath, for giving a new dimension for this very, 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 I must say, knowledgeable and enlightening program today, because all three of you has given so much values for the education as well as the skills. It is really enlightening, and I'm sure the youth, especially the youth, as well as the educator, if they are viewing this show, they must change. And as one more thing I would like to highlight of Dr. Manjunath is unlearning of the ego. Yes, that is very, very important. I have seen practically the person who is on the helm of anything, become a director or become a managing director or the chairman of an organization or industry, he thinks that he knows everything. He doesn't want to learn from a new student or new employee, because he or she might be having some new ideas. So that unlearning is also very much required. That is a new thing. I'm sure that I also learned the unlearning. I also feel sometimes that I have more knowledge than others, but today I know that I have know nothing. I should unlearn myself. Thank you very much, Dr. C.K. Manjunath. Now, my question goes to Professor Dr. Vinita. You mentioned that your campus, your institute had completed the examinations, everything in time. But in India, the condition, because we are talking of the COVID time right now, the condition is bad, very bad. Because lockdown, Maharashtra started very early, and other places also, and now in Karnataka, when we are talking, and many places in India, where the examinations have not been taking place, they have been postponed. CBSE exam, this JE exam, all the NEET, PG exams, all have been postponed. It means the students are still in lurch. They don't know when the exams will take place. Although as per the new education policies, the promotions will be done, and they have bought everything up to even the 10th exams have been waived off. But what will be the future of these students of 2021, 21, 22 batch, if not further? Although experts says that Corona may stay up to 23, but let's presume these 2 years. Don't you think that these students of these 2 academic year will be lacking the employability in the eyes of the employers or the industries, because they were not trained practically and they were not properly examined? They were being promoted, whether he or she is in 10th or 11th or 12th, or even I can say even 12th. Now the government has to consider what is to be done when the exams will take place, because the exams will take place only when the situation on all the entire country will be normal. So don't you think that the employability of these 2 batches are in question? Professor Dr. Vinita Rai, please. Please unmute. Please unmute. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. As you said, you were talking about, you met our Vice Chancellor and you had a discussion with him and about the exams. I would like to clarify here, since ours is an autonomous college under Mangalore University, We were able to complete all our exams. We could give them practical exams. How we managed to do that is that not that all our students were able to come to the campus. We gave outside the state center, outside the country also we have given them in Bahrain, Qatar, and different states. And it was an excellent job for us to coordinate with other universities, other colleges, and to conduct our examination. And also, at the same time, a few of our students were affected by COVID, and they were COVID positive, and we were able to keep them in the college campus under the supervision of our district health authority, and we were able to give them examination, and they did very well. So like that, we were trying our best how to teach them, how to give them practical exposure. And every week we try to see that we have been organizing a link with our old students or those who are working in the industrial setting or in the NGO. We were trying to have some kind of a dialogue with them every week, minimum 3 hours, so that students gain from that. There, I was surprised to see students were asking a lot of questions and they could clarify their doubt. More than we teachers talking about, those who are experts in the field were giving them their experiential sharing. That was much more than the classroom teaching. So with this autonomous college, we were able to do that. And also the internship that we used to arrange.
I understand, Professor. Sorry to interrupt. I'm not doubting about your institute. I said you have done a marvelous job. But what about the entire? We are talking of the country. What about the other students who are not lucky to give the exams and who are still waiting for the exams and they are not sure when the exams will take place? And those exams, even in the exams, I'm saying this employability of the education which were given mainly online now, whether this online education will be giving the same type of employability which the offline education has given. That was my question. So I just want to know one thing only. Do you think the employability of these 2 years, this last 2 years, I'm not talking your institute, will have some dip, the employability percentage, because the industry will see something else?
I trust the younger generation. What I feel is that youngsters have understood the situation and they are trying their level best to cope up with the situation, and they're searching, they're exploring the ways by which they can excel. Okay. I think the best thing is to do something rather than nothing. So they are doing something to work towards excellence.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Vinita Rai. I'm sure that this positive vibes should give encouragement to all our young viewers and the students, and they must learn what she has said. Please explore new things and try to be positive. You will reach to the ultimate goal fast, and you will be employable. Now my question goes to Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, you said about the skills and how your institute, again I am saying I'm not talking about your institution. We are talking the entire country's condition. I will just give a data to you. The current data suggests that only 2.3% of the workforce in India has undergone formal skill training, as compared to 68% in UK, 75% in Germany, 52% in USA, 80% in Japan, and 96% in South Korea. And we are 2.3%. How we will be we claim to be employable? Because in one of my media conference, one of the professors said, he said that out of the total students or those pass outs, 20% are employable. And out of 20%, after 1 year of doing the job, only 6% is the retentionship is there. Means only 6% of the Indian students who are passing out are going to be engaged in a particular industry. So where we are talking, I am not talking, again I'm saying I'm not talking of the institutions headed by you or Professor Dr. Vinita. No, I'm not talking. I'm talking of the general pan-India condition, where we are.
Yeah. So before I talk about your question, let me go back to what Vinita ma'am was saying, about examinations. Studying for an examination and passing is not going to make you employable. I think we have to understand that it is continuous evaluation that is important. The student has to be evaluated all through the year, and the teacher can have different ways of evaluating. Could be role plays, could be case study discussions, could be participation, could be attendance. I mean, you can be innovative in the way you understand, you see to it that your student is learning. So it is not just that one examination, but I think it is important for us to continuously assess the students and know whether what you're teaching them is being absorbed by them or not. Now, over to your question on what is it that we need to do in order to bridge this skill gap. Sir, I strongly feel that it is industry which has to also take the responsibility. But unfortunately, not many industries are forthcoming. How many of them would want to collaborate with me or any of these institutions to, say, okay, fine, I can help your students to develop in a specific skill? Can an FMCG sector set up a lab in one of the institutions, okay, and do a simulation in such a way that the students are able to learn and have understanding of the FMCG sector? Can a banking sector do that? To a certain extent, I think ICICI Bank and some of them are doing. But if you look at PSUs, I don't think any of them are even connected to any of the institutions. So unless and until these employers also take the onus along with educators, I think this has to be a collaborative effort. Only then we will be able to bridge the gap.
Okay, thank you. But I would just add one thing. I will give you the example of Infosys. What Infosys has done is they have a very, very beautiful high-tech training center at Mysore, where once they select from the campus, they train them there. And those who have taken the training, they says whatsoever we have learned in our college is nothing what we have learned in that particular training. So that is the reply to your this thing, that why they are not collaborating with your institute, because those types of companies which you are talking of, the high level companies, they have their own institutes where they are training those whom they select. But then anyway, that is a
I would like to go back to this. It is only after selection, right? Why are they not doing when the student is learning? Why not create hubs in educational institutions?
Yes, you are right. Yes.
And train the trainers, make the faculties the facilitators.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. It's a vast subject. I think we will take one more session in this. Now, my question to Dr. C.K. Manjunath. Thank you very much, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. Dr. C.K. Manjunath, you were talking about that so much and about the new education policy, and you said that we are doing all these things. I will just give you again a data. Our national education policy, which came out on 29th or 30th of July 2020, said that 6% of the GDP will be allocated. But in this budget of 2021-22, only 2.8% was allocated. Where we are. And now, because of this COVID returns, because the budget came on 1st February, now the COVID returns, again, the main sufferer will be this education center. I'm not talking, again, I'm saying, I'm not talking of your institutions at all. I'm talking the pan India. You think of Uttar Pradesh, you think of Bihar, you think of Haryana, you think of Madhya Pradesh, many other states. What is the condition when there is no funds allocated? How you are going to implement the national education policy, which will give this leverage for the more employability? Dr. C.K. Manjunath, 1 minute, please. Time is short.
Sure, sir. Sure. In fact, sir, it's a great challenge. As both the panelists said right now, see, we as academic institutions, we will have a very small framework within which we need to work. And government policies have to be on a very, probably a broader note to connect with us and help us out in running these things. But unfortunately, what is happening is, due to the huge term called corruption in the system, all these things are going down. I will tell you, see, this bringing down, even this COVID situation, if a country like India needed, like taking the help from all the institutions. See, all educational institutions have best warriors. I will tell you, because we deal with not just with Corona, worse than Corona, sometimes our students will be, and we handle them very effectively. But unfortunate is government doesn't give opportunity to everybody to get involved in solving these issues. Because
Okay.
we are losing out a lot of money in that process.
Okay. Thank.
So
Yes.
if we really take care of this, I will tell you, implementing NEP and executing it will not be an issue.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, I understand. But only I will add, the government is taking full help of the institutions. They are deploying all the teachers on the election duties. So you can't say that the government is not taking. But yes, what you are saying means something, that government should give take the expert opinions and give them the full leverage so that they can work. Thank you very much. And so today you have seen how the experts of the industry says, yes, we are employable. The employability is not an issue. Only thing is that some correct direction, and all the three panelists from the different institutions, they said that their institutions are doing very well. But we are talking of pan India. If other institutions and other educators also start following what they are saying, or they also come out with new ideas, I'm sure, because Indians have an ability to be the best employer anywhere in the world. And we have seen that all the top MNC in the multinational companies, the CEOs are Indians. So why not all everywhere we should follow such type of education things? Let it be, as our one of the panelists said, the employer or the industry should take preactive. In my opinion, all the universities, all the institutions should also be preactive, try to interact with each other, give their knowledge to others, so others can also develop. Thank you very much for giving your such a very, very enlightening and educative views. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Newsgaon se Samvad Saroka News, as well as shown live on YouTube and Facebook. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow, a media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. The topic is West Bengal post-election crisis. As you know, that there's lots of crisis going on. So the panelists are Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, one-man expert commission on labor, Government of India, Mr. Neoli P. Rajshekharan, writer, music composer and CEO, Guru Management Consultant, Bangalore, Mr. PKD Nambiar, marketing strategist and political analyst, managing director and CEO, Flex Communication, chairman, B Square Group, New Delhi. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Vinita Rai. Thank you very much, Dr. Lakshmi Mohan, and thank you very much, Dr. C.K. Manjunath, for giving your very, very educative, enlightened, and full of experience of yours views. I'm sure all the viewers are enlightened. So thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.